Hello children and families at home. I'm going to read you a Christmas story now, and it's not really a Christmas story, but it is quite Christmassy, and it's called Tabby McTat. And I wonder if any of you know Tabby McTat, but it's one of my favourite stories. So here we go. Tabby McTat was a busker's cat with a meow that was loud and strong. The two of them sang of this and that, and people threw coins in the old checked hat. And this was their favourite song. Me, you and the old guitar, how perfectly, perfectly happy we are. Me, you and the old guitar, how perfectly happy we are. One morning, Fred ate some bacon and bread, and McTat took a stroll around the block. Then he stopped, for there on a doorstep sat a gorgeously glossy and green-eyed cat, and she was black with one snowy white sock. Sock and McTat had a cat-to-cat chat, and that's how their story began. For while they were chatting of this and that, a thief had his eye on the old checked hat. He eyed it, he snatched it, and he ran. So a thief has taken the hat that Fred was collecting his money in for busking. And we know all about busking. The busker gave chase, but he tripped on a lace, and crash, in a flash he was down. He broke his leg, and he banged his head, and he ended up in a hospital bed in a faraway part of town. Goodbye, McTat said, I must go back to Fred. But where had the busker gone? The sun went down and the sky grew black. The stars came out, but he didn't come back. But McTat lingered on and on. So McTat is looking for Fred, but he's nowhere to be found. A week later, Sock took a stroll round the block and found her new friend looking thin. He's gone off and left me, said Tabby McTat. Then Sock said, my people, Prunella and Pat, would gladly find room for a fine tabby cat. And she was right, and they took McTat in. Next morning, old Fred left his hospital bed and found his way back to the square. But a brass band stood where the pair once sat, and the band played this and the band played that, and Fred looked all round for his loud meowed cat, but Tabby McTat wasn't there. Now McTat had a wife and a very full life with plenty of things to do, like washing Prunella and pouncing on Pat and hiding the car keys under the mat and keeping the newspapers nice and flat, giving the pens an occasional bat, nibbling this, nibbling that. But he dreamed of his friend with the old checked hat, and he always woke up with a meow. Often he said, what's happened to Fred? And his paws took him back to the square. But a conjurer stood where the pair once sat, and he pulled out this and he pulled out that, and people threw coins into the old black hat. One morning Sock said, look under the bed. I've had 3 kittens. Soames looks like this, Susan like that, and the littlest kitten is called Samuel Spratt, and he looked exactly like his dad. The 3 kittens grew and they learned how to meow, and McTat sometimes sang them his song. And Samuel Spratt, with his tabby grey fur, had a deafening meow and a very loud purr, and he loved singing along. Me, you and the old guitar, how perfectly, perfectly happy we are. Me, you and the old guitar, how perfectly happy we are. When Susan and Soames found very good homes, their parents were happy and proud. There was one home like this and another like that. So Susan and Soames had new homes to go to. But nobody wanted poor Samuel Spratt because his voice was just too loud. Now Tabby McTat was a home-loving cat, but he couldn't stop dreaming of Fred. And one day he called his wife and his son and he told them, "There's something that just has to be done. I must go and find Fred," he said. So up and down and all over town he wandered for a whole week long. For many a morning and afternoon by the light of the sun and the light of the moon, until he heard a familiar song. Just me and the old guitar. If I had a cat I'd be happier far. Just me and the old guitar. With my cat I'd be happier far. It's Tabby McTat, it's my long lost cat. Old Fred was ecstatically glad. And the two of them sang of this and that, and people threw coins into the new checked hat. But why did McTat feel sad? Well, he was missing his comfortable life and the dozens of things to do, and hiding the car keys under the mat, and keeping the newspapers nice and flat, and giving the pens an occasional bat. But how could he tell the busker that? Then, out from a shadow, sprang Samuel Spratt. "Oh, please let me be the busker's cat," he said, with a deafening meow. Now Samuel Spratt is the busker's cat, with a meow that is loud and strong. The two of them sing of this and that, though Samuel sings just a little bit flat. And people throw coins in the old checked hat, and this is their favourite song. Me, you and the old guitar, how perfectly, perfectly happy we are. Me, you and the old guitar, how perfectly happy we are. That's the end of one of my favourite books. Happy Christmas, everybody. I look forward to seeing you in January. Have a great holiday and stay safe and have a good time. Bye-bye.